Okay, here he is. We're always talking about whenever I hear the Trainer of the Year. I remember the year that you won.
What year?
Was that like 98 or
99.
99? See, I was close. You think I was making that up? So I was a year off.
No.
But very deservingly so. I mean, anyone that follows this sport, they've seen Miguel Diaz in the corner of so many of the legendary champions, so many great champions, and. You told me you've been at this for 40 years. If you had to pick a couple fighters that just stand out to you, and I know there's been many for you, who would they be?
One was never champion of the world. His name was Kira Kimenyi-Foshi. You know him very well. Was an African kid.
Right.
That in 1990 he fought Roberto Quiroga in San Antonio for the title. They both kissed. They were tremendous fight. Was the last fight. They using 6 ounces gloves. At that time, they from peso paja to super flyweight, they were using 6 ounces gloves. The fight was so cruel, so violent, that all the organizations stopped using 6 ounces gloves. And the other one is kind of a dead event. Roger Mayweather, Pedro Decima, one of my fighters from my country, Argentina, to beat Paul Banky for the super bantamweight champions over there on Forum de Los Angeles. And those are the guys that I train. And of course, Diego Corrales, at the time Kenny was out of the team. I took over his training and also became a champion of the world. One of the greatest fighters I ever trained.
Right.
Now, by the fighters that I work with, I got several names that you're gonna be, oh my God. So Mike Curry, Manny Pacquiao, James Toney, Eloy Rojas, a Venezuelan champion, world champion, WBA world champion featherweight, Stevie Johnson that I trained, also a great fighter. Several fighters that I don't remember now, but one day I'll give you my curriculum.
Yeah,
33 of them.
33?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Well, I can't forget Pacquiao right now is one of the pound for pound, the best fighter in the world.
Yes, and what everybody, of course, Pacquiao, everyone wants to know everything about this guy. Now, you've been around him. What do you observe about him? Is he as good a person as that we see him? He never forgets where he comes from?
As a person, as a hell of a guy, very, very humble. He always is smiling on you. He always got a good words of you. The last fight when he got that cut in the 10th round, when I get him for the 11th round, I close him up. When he come back, he said, Miguel, what you did in my eye is fantastic. You don't bleed anything, and I can see that the cut is a big cut. I said, well, sometimes you get lucky. And
you know what you're doing, but with Pacquiao, everyone now that they talk about, of course, the Mayweather and him, and do you think it's going to happen? Kenny Adams told me he thinks probably in the fall.
Well, that's what they're hoping, everything fall in places for November. By the way, I worked with Floyd Mayweather for his first 17 fights.
Yeah.
I was there when he beat Genaro Hernandez. And then when he fought Diego Corrales, I had to choose to stay with my fighter. And that's why I'm no longer in his career. But he's another one that's a great fighter. I worked with him as a cat man and wrap his hands.
Who do you think, I know you're going to lean towards Pacquiao, but when they fight, who do you see coming out?
I'm very cool in that particular way. They're both great fighters. They both got a different God-given privilege to be fighters, because both have Floyd is I call him the raider, like a Wilfredo Benitez. He see the punches coming a couple of seconds before the fight and throw it. And Pacquiao is a very aggressive kid with a lot of skills, with a lot of great development by Freddie Roach. He was also a guy that was only left hand. By the way, I trained Freddie Roach also for Mr. Fatch when Mr. Fatch was working with Mike Spink. He turned from being one-hand fighter to be two-hand fighter, left and right cross. And no, for me the fight is a 50-50 fight.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully it's going to happen. What do you look at coming up, the Pacquiao's next opponent now?
Pacquiao is going to fight Timothy Bradley. I think Pacquiao should provide. I didn't like Timothy Bradley when he fought the guy that I work in the corner, that I trained him for 3 weeks, and he only sparred 16 rounds.
Yeah.
Casamayor, and it took like 8 rounds to Timothy to stop the fight, which is I did it, not him. I think it's Pacquiao all the way.
All right. Well, listen, whenever I hear Argentina, you think of some of the great fighters that come out of there. Did you have,
I trained
relations?
Pedro Decima. He stayed in my house for a year and became a champion of the world in 1989. And I worked with Juan Domingo Roldan, who was very famous for the first guy who dropped, the only guy who dropped Marvin Hagler at the Riviera Hotel. I don't know if you were in town in those years. I never worked with Carlos Monzon. I know him very well, but it was before my time in boxing in Argentina.
Could be one of the great middleweights of all time.
Exactly.
Right?
But he only fought one time in America when he fought Licata, and I never had an opportunity to work with him. But I'm, great fighter. And I got a great memories of a guy like Pascual Perez, for me, the best fighters from Argentina. He was the first champion of the world, flyweight. He beat the first champion of the world from Japan. And he was a tremendous fighter. He was an Olympic champion in 1948 in London. And he was 32 years old when he became a champion of the world. And he kept the championship for 7 years.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What do you think of one of my all-time favorite fighters, Nino Benvenuti?
Oh, very good fighter, very good fighter. I got to say one thing. Nino was not the same guy when Monzon knocked him out. He was going around flirting with all movie stars, and he himself is doing a couple of shots in the movies. But hey, this is boxing.
Yeah.
When you're a champion and you are not dedicated as a champion, that's what happened to you. Somebody that nobody knows come and knock you out, and you pass that legacy to the other guy.
Yeah, you carry the torch. There you go. And that's what you're doing as a trainer. We appreciate all you've given to the sport of boxing, and enjoyed knowing you through the years, and I want to wish you continued success. Keep it up, Miguel, because we need you in there.
I'm 74.
All right, but you're
my next champion, I think I got a very good prospect on Andy Ruiz. I don't know if you saw him work out today in the gym, or Skipper Cup gym.
Right.
If he dedicates himself the same way, the ability that he got, he will. A lot of people will hear from him. And then I got a very good fighter on the kid that fought last week at the Texas Casino, Jan Bartolome, brother of the Olympic champion Frances Bartolome, and a special fighter, Luis Franco. Watch for him to be a champion in the 22 or 26 pounds.
Well, you heard it from the man himself, Miguel Diaz, one of the deans of boxing over here, all over the world. But we appreciate everything you've done, and I want to wish you continued success. I'll keep looking for you at ringside.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miguel.